What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Council of Comics live podcast, episode number 13. Be back in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Wakanda forever! What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Council of Comics live podcast, episode 13. We're discussing Wakanda forever. Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro.
What is good, Council of Comics? Thank you for watching tonight on November 13th, 2022. Episode number 13. Very excited to do this episode because you know we're discussing. My pillow fell. We're discussing Wakanda Forever and a couple Star Wars movies later. But first, Green Shirt Guy, how you doing? Cliff, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing well.
Back from States. Ready to do this. I saw it first.
Barely. You cheater. I had to actually work a real job.
Hey, man. Don't get mad at me. Don't hate the player.
Listen, I ain't hating. I wish I could do that. But, all right. All you guys watching.
I saw it because I knew if I didn't see it when I did, I was going to be away Friday and Saturday, and who knows for today. So I wanted to make sure somebody would spoil it. So I made sure.
If I didn't see it today, then it was going to be a while, and we just like, let's just go see it. So we went to go see
That's
it.
right. Exactly. I'm so happy because I was like, no. I'm like, we can't sit on this.
Well, my favorite was your comment where you said, it's 3 days old. What are you waiting for?
Exactly, right? Listen, this is different than like pre-COVID days. I was in those midnight showings for all these movies.
Right?
Me too.
You know what I mean?
And I don't think I've ever stopped.
So for everybody out there watching, if you're watching on Facebook, jump over to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, get our subscribers up. But if you just want to stay on Facebook and watch, that's fine. You can do that.
Just know we are going to spoil the snot out of it.
Yeah. Super spoiler alert. We're going to talk about this movie. That's why we only left about 2 Star Wars movies. The last 2 live action movies we got to discuss. We'll throw them on at the end and discuss them for a little bit. But first, let's talk about this box office. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, 180 million.
Woo!
I called
opening domestic.
What did I say? Over 200 last week. Well, not over 200 within the first 2 weeks.
It's like 180 in one weekend.
Yeah, I was thinking 140, 150 maybe, and then they cross it pretty early in the second weekend. But 180 the first weekend, I had no way I guessed that.
Yeah,
that's wild.
This is definitely going to go over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it. Let's forget. We got to talk about Black Adam real quick. Since we're doing a little box office here. Black Adam, 8 million. It's done. The experiment is over. It has been crushed by Wakanda Forever. And Kukulkan, whatever you say his name is. Yo, I gotta get that right. Kukulkan, something. So, dear Lord, forgive me for getting it wrong.
Too.
But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. So, me and Kamaria had the great thing to go see it today. We had a nice, lovely day. Went to go see Black Panther Forever, Wakanda Forever. I came out giving it a 9 off the jump. What about you guys?
I actually want to know what Kamaria gave it.
She's at, well, if she jumps on, I'll tell her score later if she doesn't jump on. Kamaria might jump on, so we'll let her tell the score. If not, I'll reveal her score later. Cliff, what do you give it?
I mean, I'm right there with a 9. I am positive this is the best movie I've seen this year, and I genuinely feel it might be one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't go that strong.
Yeah, listen, I
understand why you would give it that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the movie was unafraid, and people cannot appreciate a lot of those things that went into it being unafraid to just work ground. And it does not work for every type of film. You need an epic film. I felt this was an epic film. You know?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So even though
it's grand and scape, I'll give you that.
It's grand, and that's what I mean when I say I felt like I left Lawrence of Arabia. There is a scope, there's a depth when you watch a movie like that, right? Because it's the scenery, it's the acting, it's the delivery, it's the composition, it's the wardrobe. There's so much that even the weaker things, it's just fine that there's weaker things because you were given a masterpiece. So I mean, it's funny, right? Like, these are strong words, masterpiece. But I'm not gonna take away that I don't feel it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. I sat in that theater, I watched it, I cried, I loved it, I had a couple laughs. I mean, like, I was completely immersed. Even when it got a little slow, at no point was I thinking this is a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. It didn't cross my mind, you know, until I until I went outside and it was double pitch black.
I kept looking at my watch, but that was only because I had to go pick up my sons following it, and I knew I had, the movie starts at 3. I got to pick them up at 6. I wasn't sure how long the previews were, so I'm going, okay, I think I still got enough time. That's why I was like, when I got through the cut scene, I'm like, there better not be a second one because I'm leaving now.
No, at the very end,
and I had enough time to get there, but I was like cutting it close.
At the very, very end, there was a title card that said the Black Panther will return.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll explain how that's going to happen in my theory on how that's going to happen a little later.
I would say I'd give it, and I know you guys are going to hate me, I'd give it an 8.5. I really, really
that's
liked
respectable.
it.
That's fine.
I can't give it a 9 because for me, and it's not like it's a huge notch below. For me, it's, I still Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy, some of the earlier phase movies are still there, and it's just below those. It's still very good. I really enjoyed it. I will watch it again. Obviously I'm going to buy it, but I can't. Maybe in a second viewing I'll elevate it further. So just to be fair out the gate, I got 8.5. I really liked it though.
Kukulkan.
Well, no, those are the accents.
And he's my favorite in this whole movie right there.
Kukulkan, yeah.
So
Baku had the best lines in the whole movie.
Mine was at an 8.5.
Yes.
It was at an 8.5, but the post-credit scene jumped it up to 9. Oh, we have a special guest coming in. Hold on, let me get it.
I'm all crooked. This is so hard. I had so many technical difficulties, and I'm still having them.
It looks great, though.
I'm so excited to have you here.
It looks
What's
great.
What's going on? I have opinions.
What is we're at the rating. What is your rating of
9?
Yes.
9 out of 10.
Yes. Which again is, I feel once we start giving movies 9, we are in epic territory.
I'll say this for it.
And I said it. If I could go back in time, I would make the Multiverse of Madness and Love and Thunder as enjoyable as this one.
I like those. I will say this though, and I think I said this the other day. To me, this is the start of the Marvel's new phase. I don't care what they're saying.
I agree.
This sets the next where they're going.
I agree.
Now,
gently.
Who knows? Ant-Man could completely
gently.
Very gently. I see that. Yeah.
But like, well, we all know it's because of Valerie LaFontaine, freaking Julia Louis-Dreyfus. You know,
I wish that was a wonderful surprise. I did not know she was going to show up in this movie. I love it when I get surprises that I'm not spoiled about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she's now director of the CIA. That's a surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
You know? And I hate her. I love her all my life. She finally has a role where I hate her.
Hubby's gonna be the or ex-hubby is gonna be the leader of the Thunderbolts. I'm calling that now.
No,
they're gonna use him as the role.
He can't be.
By Wakandans. He's gonna be.
Yeah, he's on Wakanda.
Yeah, he's hiding out right now. He's hiding out in Wakanda, chilling.
Because the only reason why I say no is because Ross is still equivalent to the government. If Ross is still connected to the government, he's a fugitive now. So I don't know how that would work.
Well, wait. When we last saw Ross, he was president, right? Or was he Secretary of Defense?
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State.
You talking about the Ross in this film? Or you talking
I'm saying the Ross in this film is going to be the leader of the Thunderbolts, or the guy who sends them around. That's what that's my call.
Possible.
Now. I could be wrong. Who knows?
Let's take a little deep dive. Let's start off with the beginning of the movie. My thoughts is I thought it had a weak beginning.
I love the beginning.
I love the beginning.
I thought it was the perfect send-off for Boseman because they didn't go, oh, this is how he died. It was what was the word they used? Not unknown, but basically they didn't know what the disease was. So, and that's
right.
How, they're
but
like,
my thing was,
if you can't tell by my face, I disagree.
On enjoying it?
Respectfully. No, I didn't. I thought that it kind of, I don't know why. I think that they were trying to tread very carefully because they didn't want to be disrespectful in any way. But I think that they kind of made a little bit too light of the situation. They do make up for it in future scenes, which I'm sure we'll get to discuss later. But I thought it was a little light.
No,
well, I thought
because the scene is about Shuri.
Yes, and I think the whole movie's about her. To be honest, with you.
Not exactly. This movie was
it was a two-hander, but I think when it's all said and done, it starts with her and it ends with her.
Yeah.
So the full arc is her, and obviously we have other characters that are introduced that have arcs as well. But I think it's much like WandaVision was Wanda dealing with the death of Vision. This is Shuri dealing with his death. And all
it's just my personal thing. I wanted him to go out in some kind of blaze of glory. You don't have to show his face. You can use the whole bodysuit. You know what I mean? I don't know how you would do it, but that's what they got writers for. You know what I mean? Like something to be like he gave his life for Wakanda. You know what I mean?
I feel the sense of powerlessness was epic and something I relate to instantly.
I also love the fact that she wouldn't go see him
because she wanted to have
the cure. Yes,
right. And she starts off as she doesn't believe in Baz. She's telling Baz, like, if you help me save my brother's life, I will stop doubting your existence. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which the Marvel universe is so unique.
Well, who was it? Before the mom shows up, who was was one of the guards came in and was like, you should go.
One of the guards, right? And then the computer did, the AI.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
But like, so let's get deep. The morning my father died, we had 911 on the phone on speaker, and my mother and I moved his body off the bed onto the floor. And then a cop walks through the bedroom door and we start doing the CPR together, and so that moment of wanting to do everything you can and feeling hopeless and powerless, and then being told and then the moment you're told it's over, that whole scene, that's it. And I was ready to cry. And then they did the Marvel logo, but instead of the images,
that almost got me.
I also love that it was purple.
And you know what? I love the fact that it was silent. Like they were just like, you need to feel this because all of us had been feeling it the entire time you've been in production. Yes. You need to feel this too. And it was like that silence, the wind blowing. I was just staring at the screen. I didn't blink a single time.
Yep. And I gotta tell you, I can be wrong, but I felt like I was on Coogler's wavelength here. That opening scene was like, this was the hopelessness we felt when we lost our friend. Right?
Yeah.
I'm
And
right
like,
with you.
and like, I mean, like, I'm getting like, I can't believe like how much this movie has affected me. I can't wait to see it again. Like, I'm getting chills talking about it because all those feelings surfaced for me instantly. And then the freaking Marvel logo came, and I'm like, oh my god, you already got me. And we're like 2 minutes.
I also love right after that the funeral procession.
Yeah. Oh my god,
And how it's
beautiful.
Beautiful.
half sound, half not, and it's celebratory while it's sad.
Right, because
I mean, it was so pitch perfect. They couldn't have done it better.
they could have Queen Ramonda's face. First of all,
The only thing that took me out of it was when his coffin kind of got beamed up Star Trek style.
yeah,
I was like, all right.
This
I
is
get
probably this is probably really sick of me to have had this thought in that time. This is like this dark humor. When he got like beamed up in my head, I'm like, did his body just
where did they
fall
take him?
forward? Like when they
Oh
he
yeah,
was
when the coffin goes like
horizontal and then he was vertical. I'm like, how did that? I mean,
No,
and then I was like, I'm
it's
sure
pretty
they have
sure it's
technology to
form.
fix it
I'm pretty
after.
sure it's form fitting inside the coffin, probably.
yeah, or
Yeah.
his body is fastened into the coffin.
Or
Are they taking him to some
they-
burial
they-
ground?
Yeah,
No.
where did he
it
go?
goes this way, it doesn't matter.
I think how when famous people die, you do a mass procession, right? So I feel they beamed him up and then they flew around Wakanda while people mourned, right? And then probably landed at a special burial.
And we're skipping the pallbearers are the Dora Milaje, and you fully see Okoye just losing it. Like she's like, I know I got to carry this, but I'd much rather not be.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with any of the acting for the most part.
Oh, the acting was
Yeah. So, this guy on the screen here,
Namor.
scary.
the star of the show.
The best
I'm
way.
sorry.
Hold on. Before we even get to him, who's Angela Bassett's the
Angela
mother, right?
Bassett. First of all,
Killed it in this movie.
Wait, why are we
Yeah.
yelling?
no, well, I am always yelling, and everyone upstairs.
Welcome to the
No, I know, but
council.
specifically, why are we yelling about Angela Bassett? Oh my God, Angela Bassett, what did she do?
She
Because
put in a
she-
wonderful
She
performance.
deserves
in this
everything. She deserves all the awards.
We're giving her praise.
Oh yes, this is a
all
good
the
thing.
praise.
Yes.
I was
I mean,
like, wait,
you-
I must have missed something. I thought it
I
was
know.
great.
Okay,
I
so
know they
that
never
scene-
give Oscar nods with this kind of movie. You know, it's a fantasy
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
It's a
she should
comic.
definitely
But
get a
if
nod.
she doesn't get at least a look for this movie,
Yeah.
come on. Like
But
some of
here's
the other
the thing
people,
about
I can
Angela
see,
Bassett.
but she does so much work that's so subtle and so perfect. I mean, she's
Yeah, but
amazing.
she's never like throughout her entire career, she has always been the kind of actor that can like pull you in right with her. Always, she's always
Yeah.
had her voice reflects it, her face reflects it, her mannerisms. She always pulls you right along with her. If she wants you to feel something, you're gonna feel it, and she's just doing that in this movie too, as per
Yeah,
usual.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
then
like
that first scene where
She's telling
it's
Shuri.
actually I like how Coogler put like real world things into this. She's like, it's been a year and you don't think we hear you, and you're literally sending people to try and take our resources.
Yes.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I like how they had them look like soldiers, but they didn't really say who it was. And it's like, well, we didn't kill them, just to let you know.
No, but when
Yeah.
they yelled at
And
them
here they are.
And they
Yeah.
paraded them out
Yeah.
in a line, and she was like, "Neil."
in French, kneel in French, and
Yeah.
then they
And
look at the
if
French chick.
basically, if you fuck with us again, we'll fuck back.
Yeah, so that's dope. The basis of the story is that Riri Williams is introduced in this movie, and she has created.
I didn't like it.
You
Yeah,
didn't
I
like
was-
her introduction?
I like that she's in this movie. I don't like what they did with her character.
I was actually okay with it. And I thought the whole you're a child prodigy because your father encouraged you for the age of 7, that felt earned to me.
I
Where-
get that.
Yeah.
That wasn't my issue. My issue is when you meet her at college,
Yes.
and mind you, I get you. She's an M&T and the whole thing. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We're meeting her later in life than we meet her in the comics.
Yes.
To me, her story is about how helpless she was living on the streets in Chicago. It's Chicago she grew up in, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the helplessness she feels when her father's shot by the gang that she obviously he was trying to keep her from. We don't get any of that.
Well,
And
We
you'll
might
never
still get
any of
that.
we're gonna
We
get.
might
Right, there's a
still
show
get
coming,
that.
right?
I
We're
don't know.
gonna
I
get
just,
yeah.
it felt,
yeah.
it felt, well, she felt very much. I'm fine. Like I said, I'm fine where they what age she's at when we introduce her. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with. What I'm not okay with is she felt very petty. Like she's gaming the system instead of being so smart. She doesn't need to game the system. Whereas in the comic, you meet her and you know Tony helps her. And I'm okay. I guess you know we're never gonna see Robert Downey.
No,
Jr.
I think
again,
we're
but
gonna see Robert Downey. I think
but-
we're gonna see him come back.
for her to just be like taking money to do stuff. It felt.
That's
petty.
a little
I-
different right there,
That was
yeah.
my issue with it.
That
Other
she,
than
you
that,
know, she
after
built it.
that,
That was
and
the
then-
weird part. Like, okay, so this girl just randomly built this thing for the CIA, and now she's just chilling in college.
And by the way,
Well, she didn't
You know
build
what I
it
mean?
for
she didn't
them.
build it for the CIA.
Yeah, she built it for a school project, and
Right,
she didn't even know they
right,
had
right.
it until
Right.
Sherry told her.
But then
Yeah.
they just took it from her, and then she's just quiet in college.
and doesn't
Like-
get
Yeah,
any kind of
exactly.
compensation.
You know what I mean? That was
Nope.
just a little,
That
little
doesn't
thing.
surprise me at all. She didn't get
Doesn't- yeah.
compensation.
Well,
I
So-
thought her
my
prediction was
point is,
incredibly real world.
she's in school for free at that point, right? And she's not worrying about having to pay to eat or anything. So her stealing or not stealing, getting $1,000 from that kid for fixing her project. Come on, she's not doing
That was extra
That-
stuff to make her look
that.
cool.
To me, that
in my
didn't read
opinion.
for her character.
Yeah.
That's the kind
So,
of stuff that I'm talking
what
about.
she built, though, she built a machine that can detect vibranium.
Right.
And they detected vibranium is not only in Wakanda, but it's also around the world.
Right.
And then they
Well, they
go,
would never be able to detect it in Wakanda because Wakanda is so fortified. Right?
yeah,
But they
but they
detected
found
it in a new
some.
location.
They found some in the Atlantic Ocean, but we get our first introduction to Namor. The way that these people did not say his name right after he told them what his name was infuriating to me.
Sam, I wouldn't know what that's like from personal experience.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, wait.
Nobody ever
It
spells my
struck a
name right.
chord with me. It struck a chord.
Struck a
He
big chord with
introduced
me.
himself with the proper pronunciation, and I would think of all people in the world, the people of Wakanda would be the ones to make sure they pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah.
Well, he was hurting them on every level. I
True.
feel like maybe.
Hey man, my boy M'Baku kept it real and just kept calling him the fish man. So I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Yeah.
No, I loved M'Baku's like whole presentation.
My favorite
Yeah.
is his entrance where he's just eating the carrot.
Yes.
It
and
was
then
a
continues
carrot.
to eat the
It
carrot.
was a carrot. Yeah.
I love that.
M'Baku's
So
very funny.
the crux of this is that Namor. See, I just did it myself because I'm getting used to it because it wasn't Namor in the comics; it was Namor.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, he's trying to find out if Wakanda is going to be their ally because he doesn't like the surface world. He's like, they're going to come for you anyway. We should take them down together. Blah blah blah.
He heard
But-
Siri talk about if I think about my
Yeah.
brother, I want to burn the world.
But
Yeah.
Namor's thing is that he wants to kill the scientist that created this machine. But Shuri doesn't want to.
Because it's a girl.
And why
Because
exactly
she's
does he
young.
want to kill her other than like he doesn't? How about you meet with her and go, hey, can you knock it off? Instead of just going, let's
Right,
just
and
take
this
her
whole
out.
time, throughout this entire movie, she didn't even up until Sherry tells her, she didn't even realize that she made a oopsie. She picked a bouquet of oopsie daisies. She didn't even
Right.
realize. No one
It
told
wasn't
her.
like she was looking for him. She just stumbled across him. Yeah.
Yeah, and the performance by this guy.
Tanoch
He's
West.
great.
Oh my
Amazing.
goodness.
As soon as
Oh my
he came out of
goodness.
that water, I was wet.
What did she say? What did they when they're having their little mom and daughter campfire? What did she say to her about something? The mom says something or other about vibranium, and then Cherie's like, no, he's covered in it.
Right. She
Oh,
goes,
she was like, vibranium's only in
"Mother, he's
Wakanda."
covered in it.
Right.
Yeah. His performance is amazing. The whole
Mhm.
world building of what's the city called? Talco.
Tio
Help me out
Khan.
here.
Talokan?
Talcon.
Okay.
Talcon. How he created a
But Jamal
sun.
Moore is telling me to chill. I can't chill. Have you met me?
He created a sun under the ocean
With
out of
vibranium.
vibranium. That's wild. He's also explains that he's a mutant. He calls himself a mutant. I
Yep.
believe that's the first time we've heard the word mutant. Jamal, I have.
I said, have you met me? He's like, I have. I'm like, I can't chill, Jamal. You know this.
But besides the fact of him trying to kill the scientists was pretty wild. I was feeling him. I was feeling his had to protect his people.
No,
You know?
I get it. As soon as you realize it's like basically a kid, you know, you could reevaluate a little bit, but he was all about hating the surface world. And I was feeling it when we dove into his past and he showed us, you know, the origin of his mother, their version of the heart-shaped flower,
Yeah.
all of that. And then, of course, he comes to bury his mom in the surface world, only to find what? Catholic colonizing enslavers, you know, and then while he's murdering them, rightfully so, then they're calling, you know, this priest is calling him, you know, son of Satan, you have no love in your heart. And I was like, this is hitting too close to home.
I
for
was
me.
gonna ask. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the comics, but is that like how did he get the name Namor or Namor in the comics? Because in here it's this is how he got it. He said see Namor, he doesn't have any love. So how did he get it in the comics if it wasn't like that?
I don't think it was like that. That's why
It
I
was
like
I think they
like that
probably
at
just
all.
yeah.
That was original. And like honestly, I think he's like the best new character since Endgame.
Yes.
Like his complete
Fair.
whole thing from top to bottom. Like I can't wait to see what he does in like Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars. You know what I mean?
He made me question my own morality. I was like, does he have a point? But no, he shouldn't.
Namor is Roman spelled backwards.
Mm.
Imperious Rex, baby.
And he said Imperious Rex,
Yes.
which is, you know, came out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure people that don't know him are just like, what?
I was like, what?
all the comic people were like, yes.
Yeah.
That's his famous catchphrase. So he captures Shuri and Riri.
Willfully, well, no, they attack, capture Riri. Okoye puts up the fight of a lifetime, which I thought was very cool. And Shuri's like, I am the princess of Wakanda. Take me with her. Don't murder her. Let me talk to Namor. Right? And they leave with her. And that was incredible. And we take a break from Shuri while she's captured. We go back to focusing on Queen Ramonda and Okoye, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
a little
great
bit
scene too.
and a little bit on you know what? Martin Freeman's character, his last name is Ross, but I don't think he's related to Thunderbolt Ross.
There's not.
But it's
I don't think
funny.
I don't think he is either, but I think that's what they're gonna do.
Maybe.
I think that's they're gonna be, you know, because I can't remember if it was Feige that said this or one of the other writers was like, we could just go basically put what we have on the page right on the screen, but anybody that's read the comics, it's not really great for them. So we're trying to keep the spirit of things, but give you a new twist to when we can. So I wouldn't be shocked if they do it.
To back it up, though, in regards to Queen Ramonda and Okoye, I was mad when she stripped her of her title and was like, hand in your
well, you're supposed to be mad.
spear. Yeah, but like she gave the fight of her life. They did not take Shuri without a good fight from her.
But she gave the speech of her life.
That's what I'm saying. The speech afterwards.
Like her speech of like how much was taken from her, and then throwing in her face. She's like, that husband she put a spear to. She could go visit him.
Yeah.
Everything I have is gone. And when Killmonger came in here and took this throne,
that was the part right there.
I marched into the mountain.
She's like, well, you stood by his side.
And I told you not to take her.
But you notice how she shut up once she said that. Like you stood by his side, she just shut up. She didn't
was
say
like,
nothing
"Ooh."
else afterwards.
You
Like,
got me there.
You know, you feel for Okoye there because it's one of those. I mean, you see it in many movies where there's a royal guard, and they're like, "Look, I get it, but my job is to guard that office.
Yes.
No matter who's sitting there, whether I like it or not. That's kind of like our Secret Service. If you,
Right.
who cares who's the president? Your job is to guard the president.
But we all have a choice, right? And
Right.
if you have a corrupt president who took power corruptly, you have the choice to sit there and be like, I got to do my job. I took an oath, or you can go, I've had enough of this shit, and I gotta do what I feel is right. You know.
No, but I'm just saying, yeah, absolutely.
So what she's telling her is, you had a moral play there, and you made the wrong move.
yeah, like you can't really put everything back in her hands, even though she fought as hard as she could.
No, she did, and you feel for her, and I love her,
Yeah.
and she was amazing in this movie. I am so impressed with how many characters they put their fingers in the pot on this movie, right? And like everything felt worth it. Everything.
And then Nakia, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking of next.
The queen comes in. She looks for
Goes to him
Nakia.
to find her.
With her locks.
Yeah, she asks her to go find Shuri because she's captured.
Yeah, and
she
then we
finds out
followed
where
Nakia for a while.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
How about though? Here's this is one of those nitpicky things, and I watch Bond movies, so I notice it. So, but the ship she has when she's going, to go underwater, just magically works and does everything she needs it to. Kind of like when Bond just happens to need to go underwater.
I mean,
He
it's
has a car
Wakanda
that can go
technology.
underwater.
I questioned that as well.
Come on.
I questioned that as well at first, but then it occurred to me, I'm like, Wakanda literally it's the most advanced civilization on the planet. I was like, of course they would have something that can do that at the ready.
Yes, and other people.
Yeah, maybe.
And other people.
Like I said, I'm letting it go because whatever.
Other people work in Shuri's lab. There are others.
I don't disagree with that. It just seemed
it's like Batman
to have it that quickly.
Batman
never
always
had
comes
to go
up with a way.
underwater like this in really ever, or that we know of, and magically you have it like that. I'm okay with it. I'm letting it go, but it just seemed convenient.
I'm sure there's a deleted scene somewhere out there where it shows us how she got the thing.
I don't need the explanation. It just seemed convenient. That's all I'm saying.
I thought it was absolutely fine.
And it was cool. I liked the ship. It just was like, all right, whatever.
I was thinking though, I'm like, how much range of motion do you have with your neck? Because it doesn't seem comfortable to just lay on your stomach.
Well,
and
if you
dive
notice
down to the depths of the
it
ocean.
kind of formed around her.
Yeah, but I was like, she's literally just on her stomach, just diving in the depths of the ocean. Like,
so
if someone attacks her from the side, what's she gonna do?
This thing is so advanced, it can do all that, but there's not a video screen that she can see whatever she needs to see.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. Post Jamal's comment.
Jamal says they got ships that suck people in the air. They're ready for anything.
Exactly.
So they find Shuri and Riri. In the process of rescuing them, they don't kill, but she ends up dying. They kill one of Namor's people and kind of sets Namor off.
Two.
What's the other?
She kills the first one and injures the second. The second one that Shuri tried to save her life, she was injured.
Right.
The first one,
give Shuri credit. She did try to save her life because she knew that it was gonna pop off.
And I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I was a little bit irritated that when Namor went up to her and was like, "What happened?" She didn't say, "Hey, they tried to kill me. They got the princess." But she did try. She even mentioned that.
Hi, honey. Drive safe.
So Namor and his people attack Wakanda. They flood it. They catch wreck. You see M'Baku get his first taste of the Fishman. And the Fishman punches his chest like you've never known. And the sad part is Namor throws those water grenades at the windows. And the Queen going to save Riri. She ends up.
We have jumped ahead. Kiana's comment is pretty good.
Let me get it up there.
wait, I need to have a setup like y'all. I need to put my other device. Listen, we're gonna
I
have
was
a for a
I was
second.
trying to figure out how a civilization that was secret since like forever was so easily found by her, and she was able to just get in with a weapon.
Well, it's not that
Ah.
easy. Remember, I mean, we see one scene of her interviewing that woman who doesn't want
Yes.
to talk to her up in
Right.
the Andes Mountains, basically saying, "Have you seen this guy?"
Which, by the way,
Because we already
Lupita's
know he's been on
Spanish
land
was
before.
fabulous. By the way,
Yeah.
What's that?
Lupita Nyong'o's Spanish was fabulous,
Oh
She
yeah.
speaks like 3 or 4 languages in this movie.
and she did great. At least for the Spanish, I was like, wow.
So for her to find where it's likely that he'll show up again wasn't for me not that unbelievable. I mean,
And
that he shows up that quickly, I'll give you that. You know,
and
it
that
could be weeks before he comes on land.
she was using the technology to track Shuri's earrings,
Well, that too.
and
Yes.
as she kept searching that beach, she was able to find it.
She was born in Mexico, so she better have sounded good.
That's right. So
so
I bought that, and also you notice she was careful not to make a move without staying in touch with Queen Ramonda. And Queen Ramonda had that conch from their first meeting with Namor, so she would be able to lure him out.
I
Right.
feel
To
like
me,
we're also forgetting though that Nakia was also pretty much special ops herself before
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Endgame. So
Yeah,
like,
she's the spy. She's like
Yeah.
that spy.
yeah, she got in there because she's. I can't say
She's
what
their
I want,
double O.
but she got
She's
in
their
there because
double O.
she's that girl.
yeah,
okay?
and Baku even says it. He says the spy saves the kingdom again.
Right.
Yep.
Operative word being
so-
again.
So
Well, and Baku
They-
actually saves the kingdom too, because remember he's like, "Yeah, everybody come up here. You can come live with me." And wow,
Twice.
shit goes sideways.
Yeah.
Jamal says she knows how to infiltrate. So no more ends up killing. Well, he throws the grenades. They blow up the window, and in saving Riri, it's too much for the queen, and the queen passes, which devastates Shuri and devastates everybody.
Even
But
further.
it shows, above all else, she was the queen of Wakanda, but she was a mother too.
Yeah.
She was
Yes.
like, not my baby. I met her today, but not my baby. Put her right
Yep.
behind her.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, what we skipped too which comes up next is one of the major plot points of the next kind of section is Shuri at the beginning of the movie is trying to save
Her
T'Challa by recreating the heart-shaped herb,
Yes.
but can't get it right.
And
She's close,
abandons
but she
it
can't get it
because abandons
Yeah.
it because she's just like, no, all that religion, all that culture, forget it. It's not the future. Technology is the future.
But
That wake-up call real quick.
Namor gives her a bracelet that
When
was
they were
made
being
from the
friends.
fibers of their plant or whatever. And so she
His mother's
actually,
bracelet.
with Riri's help, ends up creating a new heart-shaped artificial herb.
98% effective.
98% effective.
Shuri,
Well,
Shuri
wait. I think we're getting ahead. We're glossing over
98%
Queen's burial
confidence.
now, and the whole conversation.
But in
Well, the Queen's
Baku,
burial
Baku
wasn't that long in the
finally
movie.
finds her.
Yeah, but M'Baku was the one who kind of knocked some sense. He didn't really get through to her at the time,
Yeah.
but he's the one that kind of talked some sense into her and like, hey, be aware of how you're approaching this. You've seen too much death and destruction to be considered a kid anymore. So I'm asking your opinion. But once you get to make decisions, make the right ones.
Well,
Yeah.
and
He was great.
do it for the right reason too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he also tells her that T'Challa had told him that he wanted him to be her protector and her counselor.
Yes.
Yep.
So he feels like he needs to counsel her. So 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 after the queen's funeral, she creates the herb. She takes the drink.
This
And
is the one that shocked me.
yeah, so she takes the drink and she goes into the ancestral plane, and she doesn't meet T'Challa. She doesn't meet her mama. She don't meet her mama, but she meets Killmonger.
What I was like, what? But then I was like, it makes sense, but I
Yeah,
didn't see it coming.
I wasn't expecting it either, but it was good.
And I don't
Because
even like him, but he was good in this.
But I think the
Unfortunately
reason
for
why
me-
he also says it. He says the reason why I'm here is because when you took this, you wanted this power for vengeance.
Right.
So that's why I showed up. You know
Kiana,
what I
to be
mean?
fair, she did give Okoye her job back. with an upgrade.
Well, technically, did she give her job back, or did she?
Yeah,
just
she
like,
gave
"Listen, I
her
got
the
something
Midnight
else
I don't know
Angels.
what
to
you would
do."
call that.
No,
gave her the
yeah,
Midnight
she's not
Angels
still-
suit.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be back
Which
employed.
those eyes on that suit were a little jarring.
Well, they were mentioning that through the thing. Weren't they? They were like, it's
that
ugly.
wasn't what bothered me. What bothered me is when it did the like this. The CG looked crap here up on the
Yeah.
top of her head.
Yeah, it's a little pushed
I didn't
back a
even
little
notice
bit.
It just didn't look right.
Oh, that's true. She's not a general anymore.
Until Black
See?
Panther 3.
Right.
Yeah, I you know what? The suit had a jarring look, but I think the fact that she constantly commented on it made it work for me.
Yeah.
You know? That Aquaria was
Um,
like, no, I hate this. It's ugly. I was like, all right, you know what? It is ugly, but let's do it.
So Killmonger gives her the speech, like, you know, your dad would have killed that girl. Your brother would have been too noble about it.
Yeah.
And so you need to be like me, or you're gonna handle your business, blah blah blah. So she comes out of the trance. She's kind of like Killmonger a little bit with the vengeance, and her suit was, you know, I mentioned that to Kamara. I was like, if you look at her suit, it's kind of a mixture. It's got Killmonger's colors in there too.
He says he mentioned it to me. I already caught on about at that point.
But
I
just mentioned
immediately
it.
I saw
Oh
it and
my
I was like,
God.
"Oh, really? Like it's obvious." Just saying.
So
I like that it had her sonic cannons that she used gently in the first movie. Now they were like fully fitted into her suit.
yeah. So she
The Midnight
basically is saying that she wants to take out Namor. And Baku's trying to tell her like this probably isn't the best thing to do.
Nakia's trying to sense it to her.
Yeah, but
I
she's
think
on.
that's also a character arc to talk about M'Baku. Say him trying to rein her in. I feel like Black Panther 1 M'Baku would have been like, "Yeah, go kill him. In fact, I'll help you." Because in the beginning of the movie, he was like, "Kill the fish man,"
Yep.
Yeah.
and now he's like,
Well,
wait
but
a minute."
there's a reason why he says kill the fish man.
Yes.
Because he's like, look, yeah, just because we're gonna help him now doesn't mean if we do that, he'll come back
Remember,
and ask for whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
It changed after
but
he
then-
got his chest punched in. Remember
Yeah,
that?
and then he was like, "If we kill him, this man might become a martyr," and now we got his entire civilization.
Yeah.
Right. These people worship him like a god.
Yeah.
Like we have to be mindful of this.
They call him Kul
Khan.
Khan. I was like, oh yes.
You know what? No,
I'm telling you, M'Baku steals this movie.
Yeah,
he does. No, he doesn't steal it, but he steals his scenes, and that's important. If I'm going to give this movie an MVP, I am giving it to Angela Bassett.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
MVP.
absolutely.
I think it
Yeah,
kind of
so
goes
the
without
caved-in
saying
chest will
that
change your
the
perspective.
MVP goes to Angela Bassett in whatever movie she's in. Not gonna lie. However, I will say, Letitia Wright really tugged on my heartstrings, and it's hard. I struggle to cry at movies. This movie got me close. Almost every emotional scene she had. So I don't want to discredit. Angela's amazing. Miss Bassett, incredible. One of my personal heroes, one of my people I look up to. But Letitia Wright, she acted the heck out of this role. I believed her every second.
I felt for her, and I related to her in all the emotional moments. And I was okay with everything else, but oh my god, like of all the, it was one of those things where like, okay, it's nice that she's Black Panther in this movie, and like who's gonna be the next Black Panther? Like I was like, it's cool for now,
Yeah.
but like
I liked too that usually when they are not announcing but announcing, an actor as a superhero or somebody in the Marvel universe, they make them bulk up.
yes,
And like get like super duper like strong and lean. And I'm not saying she wasn't strong. She definitely looked strong and athletic. But I like the fact that she was still like she still looked like her. You know?
She did also get hurt during filming, and so I feel like that they were like, okay, we cannot make that a priority. Let's just get in there.
Yeah. So she's got her people together. Her plan is to go kill Namor. They figure out a way to lure him. They figure out that if they dry him out, he can become weak. And they kind of put it. We get to see the Ironheart suit. That
Didn't
she
like
makes.
it.
Didn't like it either, but
I
I
thought it
don't
looked
think
ugly.
we'll ever see that suit again. You
Yeah,
know
I was
what
gonna
Hopefully
say that's
not.
not the suit; it's a suit.
Yeah.
But in the comic, wow. Again, I'm going off the comics, and I really like Riri in the comics. I think she's one of the better new characters in the last 10 years. In even her first suit, while it's very much a Tony kind of ripoff, it still looks better than this one. This one looked like this looked like
Yeah.
it was trying to be Gundam and didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
That
It's
was-
like they kind of gave us the third suit she got in the comics. You know what I'm talking about? The one that people weren't really feeling. So they kind of did that one first. And I'm sure she's gonna build her own now. It's gonna look a little bit because they mentioned Tony. This is why I think we're gonna see Tony. Because they mentioned
if they
she's like,
don't make her AI, it's a crime.
Yeah. So the guy's like, oh, she's got an Iron Man suit, and then there's Shuri says, "Are you building Stark Tech?" So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some kind of Tony thing, and I think that's why Armor Wars was turned into a movie because Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back for a Disney Plus show. He's gonna come back for a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if he's gonna be an AI, right? Much like the later movies, I remember seeing an interview with him. He goes, you know what? Once I'm not there, I'm in a studio somewhere just talking lines into a screen.
Yeah.
So if he's just going to be an AI, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, how many times did we see Jarvis? 3? You know,
Yeah, but
like,
my thing is this: where have we seen Robert Downey Jr. since Endgame?
well,
Sits
Mr.
on
What was
millions
that?
of dollars from Endgame.
That Dr.
I mean, like, what new
Let
project? What new project?
No,
I know it's been a minute. It's been a while, but the shows where he'll come back is still a few years out. So sure, they captured Namor. They end up fighting Black Panther and Namor, and I thought the touching scene to me was when she was almost about to kill him. And then you get the flashbacks of her visiting their people. And she's like, oh, kind of like
thinking of her people.
Like they're kind of the same. Like his mother died, my mother died. And he's having those same things because he sees visions of his mother reaching out his hand to her. And I was like, okay, that's because I was like, how are they going to end this? And I was like, they better not kill no more.
I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly or not, but did her asking him to yield kind of parallel a scene in the first Black Panther where
it did. It did.
Where T'Challa is I don't know if it's M'Baku or if
No,
it's
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
No,
He's
he
telling him
doesn't.
to yield and he won't.
He
And
just
he
kills
won't.
Killmonger.
He said, bury me at sea with my ancestors. That's what he tells him. You know, so he won't yield.
He yields. He gets M'Baku to yield because that's why M'Baku helps him later. He's like, I could kill you.
That's cute, but that is not the mirror here. The mirror here is him and Killmonger. And you are absolutely right, Kamaria. You nailed it. That is literally what was going on there.
I got a quick stamp of approval. I made
it.
I disagree, but okay.
Jamal says Black and Mexican relations being healed in that scene.
That's right.
Yeah. So they make a truce. He yields to Shuri. They show up in the ship. He's like, our fight is done here, blah, blah, Wakanda forever. We won. Then it leads to the going out. Riri gets sent back to Chicago. She does not get to keep the suit.
Well, there's vibranium in it, so no way.
Yeah, that's valid in Wakanda. She probably knew.
Yeah.
She already knew. She's like, I'm not.
But she's got.
How long do we think all of these events take place over? By the way,
what the movie?
Nobody notices she's missing from college for this whole time.
Well,
I don't think it was that long.
We don't show it, but she does have to call her mother, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it was that long.
I also think with all the power they have, they can make a couple absences from school disappear really quickly. Yeah. But before you get toward the end, I want to point out that regardless of how everyone feels about casting, I think she was a great Riri. However, I don't know much about it. Don't come for me. I don't know much about it. However, I absolutely loved the camaraderie and like the friendship between Shuri and Riri.
Oh, it worked very well. Yeah.
Oh, it totally makes sense, and it makes sense too.
Their chemistry, their on-camera chemistry is so good.
I was also impressed with the chemistry with Okoye. Like I was like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this scene with Okoye and Shuri, and I'm like, it's going really well.
Yeah,
When
I
she
gave
called
the
her like small person, referring to her that
yeah.
she's small. I was like, that's
I
funny.
gave Shuri and Riri relationship was almost similar to Tony and Peter.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Is she? What is the age gap there? Because I was asking, because Shuri got blipped. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame or whatever.
Yeah.
Shuri got blipped.
Shuri's
so is
probably
she
like 22,
17 or
23.
is she like 22?
She's like
Well,
23,
how old is she in
I
the
think.
first one, right? Because she's only probably
She's like
14,
19
15
in
the first one.
No, she's like 19.
She's supposed to be
in the first-
19 in the
No,
first
she's
one?
young in the first one.
Yeah, she's
She's
not
way
that
young in the
young.
first one.
I thought she was like 16, 17 in the first one.
I don't know. I think she's young, but she even makes the point that she can blend when they go to MIT because she can look like a student.
Yeah. So she mentions Chicago. Riri's like, maybe you can come visit me in Chicago. So there is an Ironheart show coming. It's going to be based on that. And Ironheart is supposed to be a direct sequel to this movie. So we'll see her there. And Baku, this is one that we had a question about. Like, M'Baku is challenging who to the throne?
No, that is the challenge for the throne.
It's for him. They got to beat him.
Yeah,
No.
I think he was basically
No, he's
saying,
there to
like,
challenge for the throne. The challenge for the throne and the mantle of the Black Panther are not mutually exclusive.
Gotcha.
Correct.
right, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
And
it would be.
I think
Yeah,
when he says
He'd be
he was
the
like,
king of
Shuri's
the
not
con.
coming, but I'm here to challenge for the throne. If no one actually challenges him, then it goes unattested and he gets the throne.
Shuri sees herself in Riri and probably
Maul's
knows how
right.
she feels being so smart and not having people to relate. Yeah.
All's right.
He needs a young friend, young smart friend.
Yeah. And so the movie ends with Shuri going to Haiti to visit Nakia, and she finally gets to burn the robes because earlier in the movie, her mom takes her to burn the funeral robes, and she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't believe in that stuff. But by the end of the movie, she ends up burning the robes.
To?
Huh?
Whose is she burning?
She's
That's
burning
no
the
question.
original funeral robes for T'Challa.
T'Challa.
So not,
Yeah.
but not the mother's then.
Yeah,
Not
because
the
it hasn't
mother.
been a
Okay.
year yet since
Okay.
the mom's death.
That's the part where I was
Yeah,
like, I couldn't figure out the time. Okay.
yeah. And that's where I was. And then the movie it just ends with Shuri, thinking on it,
Contemplating her brother.
contemplating. And I was like, okay, this is 8.5. And then the end credit scene, Shuri is in the same spot, and Nakia brings out this young boy, and she tells Shuri that this is T'Challa's son.
Yeah, but what does she say his name is the first time?
Toussaint.
Toussaint, but it's supposed to be Toast. Remember how we're now
Toussaint is
Right,
the
right,
pronunciation. It's his Haitian name.
Yeah, in the comics,
right.
there was recently introduced a character called Tosin
Okay.
in the comics. So when they were saying that, I was like, oh, they're saying it the right way. Maybe we were saying it the wrong way this whole time. But
I mean, I have a friend. Well, I know someone with that name.
So, and then the little boy tells her, well, my that's only my world
got a
name
secret.
or whatever. She's like, yeah, my real name is Prince T'Challa, King of son of King T'Challa. So that brings me to my theory that during either Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, they're going to travel to a future time point.
I was gonna say, is there gonna be times?
And they're gonna have an older T'Challa as Black Panther.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said to Sam,
Brilliant way to bring him back.
Right. As soon as they brought him on screen, I was like, well, this kid's locked into at least a 10-year contract.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
but not him. They'll get an older actor to portray him.
But I'm sure they're gonna need him for flashbacks and things.
Those movies are only about 3 years away, so they're gonna need an older actor to play T'Challa.
Before we move on, though, I feel like I have to mention, because I always have to mention, the costuming in this.
Oh my
movie.
God, absolutely.
I knew Cliff was gonna have things to say because it is so good. I know Sammy felt the way about the jumpsuits that they were wearing. However, in all of these movies, I personally feel that Shuri's outfits never miss, and neither do Okoye's when she's not being,
I don't know.
general.
Okoye going to the college, that suit was just like
okay, but the Dora Milaje suit with the blazer to me was a look.
It was a look. I'm gonna give it to you. Yo, and how about the gray dormelage civilian uniform when they were at the UN?
Yes, and
Yeah.
Okoye's top when she visited. Is her name Neka? The
Yeah.
other with the
Yeah.
tattoos on her
Neka,
head.
No, the
yeah.
The
tattoos
top
on her
she
head
was wearing,
is
the twisty one.
That's NECA.
Yeah, but the
Annika.
top that
It's
Okoye was
Lene.
wearing when she went to visit her and was like, "Hey, want to get back in the saddle?" That like
Yo, I love her.
twisty beige top. Oh, so good.
Can I just
So
say,
good.
I love that actress. I'm so happy she's there. I love when she was undercover and had the
I
vibranium
don't know what
daggers.
she was wearing, but by
How
the way.
about the costume the Queen's wearing when she goes to
Is that-
Haiti?
Yeah, nice.
Kiana says, I hate it what Shuri had on by the water with her mother. Hand to the
I
face.
don't remember what she was wearing. I really like the tracksuit she was wearing when she went to MIT.
Oh no.
I loved it. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they just look weird to me. I was just like, y'all don't
No, the
stand out right now.
Yeah, I thought the tracksuit was like trendy and modern.
I'm
I
the youngest one on this podcast, so I feel like what about fashion?
No, you
what I
you
say
know what?
goes.
And you earn it. You earn it, Kamaria. You earn it. You get it. Also, and I agree with you. Also, oh my God, someone else. Oh, the Riri suit having an anime robo style, like you said,
Yeah.
Gundam, I actually thought that was like really age appropriate. Like I thought, like, oh, she's a college kid. She probably watches anime all the time, and that would be her inspiration for this outfit when you have unlimited resources.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said it before, but Ruth Carter did the costuming.
Yo, Ruth Carter. First of all, not only did she do the costuming, she brought in Mesoamerican specialists to bring input into the designs to make them as authentic as possible. She deserves all the awards, every costume award.
Kiana says, I hated that little fro they had on Queen Mother Rocket. I was like, okay, she's mourning, but damn, she's still the queen of the most powerful nation in the world. Sam, you could have faded her out, bro.
Yeah. Wait, I'm trying to remember. I remember curly hair. Was
No,
it a
but she
fro?
had-
I guess it was.
It was like
she
a
had,
small
like,
fro, yeah.
She had the small fro. She had it in the bush, and she had it at the end when she dies. You
She's
know.
going through things. Okay. She has to return to the earth in her natural state.
But listen, when she was coming through from the astral plane, right? She was in full headgear. She was ready.
You know what's interesting? They showed her from the back once, and I was wondering the entire movie. I wonder if the headdress she wears, I was like, I wonder if it has a top or if it's just open. And they showed her from the back, and I was like, well, there goes the answer to my question. It's closed.
Yeah.
Jamal says,
everything's so
Kiana Shante, they had her without her wig on. Damn. And then it got curly when she drowned.
Oh, gosh.
Now, can I just go back? Michaela Coel, if you guys don't know her from Chewing Gum, which is where I fell in love with her. She's in
That's where she's from.
Yes. She's also from I May Destroy You. She is like a phenomenal actress, like not just comedy, but like she has blown my mind, like how great she is. And
I
this
did not
is
make that connection with chewing gum.
well because of the hair mainly, but
Probably.
it is a small role, but it is like just I loved her, and I just wanted to say that because I wanted to just say that everybody impressed me in this movie so much, and they had already impressed me the first time around, but this like.
I also appreciated too when I don't know, and I don't know if this is like a cultural thing specifically to like Black culture or what, but going to funerals, like as a kid growing up, I had a lot of older family members, so that was not uncommon. The kids were never allowed to wear black or dark colors. We always had to wear like clothes you would wear going to church.
Yep.
And then after, we always had a celebration. There was always food. There was always laughter. There was always some type of celebration.
Mhm.
So that whole theme throughout all both of the funerals, I was like, yeah, I can. I was glad that they made the fantastical relatable.
They did, and it was so beautiful. I'm still processing this film. I genuinely am.
Anthony says he's on his way to see Black Panther 2 right now, and he wants us to let everybody know that he loves He loves them all. Everybody watching.
Okay. I was gonna say, spoiler. I hope he's not watching. Spoiler alert.
So look how it froze. That's funny. You said it froze on. So I guess we're all pretty much in agreement that this was a phenomenal movie. I feel like it put the MCU back on track. I can see why they left the Doom post scene out,
Absolutely.
but I can also see how Doom would fit into this as well. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with that machine, of how they acquired that machine or something like that. But yeah, next thing up is Ant-Man Quantumania.
It's got such big shoes to fill. All
So how
of a
about we
sudden.
Yeah.
Lake Bell in her 5 minutes on screen in the MCU?
Lake
She's one of the
Bell.
scientists at the beginning. She's a pretty big actress.
Oh,
but
that's
she's
right.
in it for 5 minutes, and that's
Right.
it.
Did she? Do we know if she died?
Yeah, she's pretty nice
Oh
with the.
yeah, she's in the helicopter.
She was
remember?
No, I
pretty nice
know,
with the pistols.
She could have possibly survived that.
What did I miss?
What are you talking about?
Lake
The
Well,
helicopter
no, when
exploded.
in the beginning when we
Remember, she's
first,
the one fighting off
Yeah,
the
No, they're dead. They're full
so-
on dead. No,
no,
they're
he's
dead.
dead, but she might have
wait,
survived.
for clarity,
They're in the same
for
helicopter.
clarity and
The
confusion.
helicopter didn't
We were
explode.
wait a minute. For clarity and to clear confusion, we are talking about the scene where they're going to look for vibranium in the Atlantic Ocean.
The Navy SEAls.
And the scientist that's in the
Oh,
room. Yeah.
Thank you.
The two that are monitoring the two people that are going in the suits down.
I guess it would be kind of hard to survive that, but it's not impossible.
Jamal
Thank
says,
you.
I love the
It's
women
everything
empowerment.
thinking about.
Jamal says,
Why
I
can't
love
we be
the
obvious about
I
women
love the women.
empowerment?
Jamal says, I love the women empowerment without being obvious about it.
All right.
Yeah,
so
why
let
can't
me,
we be obvious about women empowerment?
wait. Am I allowed to mansplain another man? Is that can that be allowed?
You can do whatever you want, Cliff.
No, I
You're your own
want the woman present to authorize me.
Oh, I cannot control what comes out of your mouth, Cliff.
No, but may I take a crack at this?
Take the reins. Go ahead.
I believe that he really enjoyed the execution rather than when you're watching a project and it just feels very forced and just sprinkled on.
Yeah, I was poking fun.
Yeah,
I wasn't serious.
Well, no, because I really felt like, well, you know what? Because people make comments like that, you do have to wonder.
Kiana says, I didn't like it the first time I saw it. Second time I upgraded my score to a 7. Oh, so her score was low.
Respectable.
7.
She also says, I'm sure they drowned, and if they didn't drown, I'm sure the ocean people got her. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I don't
That
think
may
they're
all be
gonna
true,
let her.
yeah.
And
But there are other things in that ocean as well.
How about her
take
two
away from the
lieutenants?
film, and people will
They're
downplay
his two
the film.
lieutenants.
Yeah. So we are at the end. We're not doing Star Wars, by the way. This
Yeah, I
too
was
much
like, yeah,
fun.
the hour's up. That's
This
not
is too much fun, and we had a great time. So that's the end of episode 13. We're at 13 episodes. It'll be episode 14 next week. That's pretty big. That's like 3 or 4 months of work of episodes.
Have a cake or something at 15 and 20.
Excellent. I like chocolate.
Giveaway.
We want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. We got 6 people in the live right now. Thank you. That is the highest we've had at the end of an episode. I think we're seeing what everybody likes. We're probably gonna move forward on this kind of direction. Jamal says Andor's fire.
And he's
Definitely
right.
is. We also check our videos out for that on Andor. If you're watching on Facebook, go over to our YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You'll see all the videos we do. New comic book day, Andor reviews, a lot of film reviews, total thing. Remember, we go live every Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow night, which is Monday night, for the hot books and key books of the week, which we do every week to let you know what books are hot, that you can come this new comic book Wednesday and get your books. So for the Council of Comics, for Green Shirt Guy, for Cliff, for Kamaria, and myself, we thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you next time. Peace.